Hello, people. It's me again, still investigating the investigators. On this occasion, this video should be very quick since I need to leave soon. But this picture here represents a government vehicle. I've spoken about this before briefly, but I want to create again a lot of videos of some of the events mentioned on the other video that I removed, which was over an hour, but I want to consolidate all these experiences into tiny videos instead of having them all in the same place. This was a concern that I made known to HR at one point, which was a conversation that Gladys, Mr. Lopez, and I had at U.S. Probation of Puerto Rico. Now, I was not part of the findings, but the conversation had to do with employees, federal employees, and the use of government vehicles. And I remember that Mr. Lopez and he suggested to Gladys that he believed some employees were most likely, because again, the evidence was there, but it's not clear evidence. There was scratch marks, shoe scratch marks on the dashboard on some of the cars, since he was responsible in maintaining them. And he said he saw other anomalies, like the chair pulled back, and I mean, it could have just been somebody laying down on, while the other one was driving. That could have been a possibility. I guess putting their feet on the dashboard. But he also suggested the possibility of maybe even hanky-panky of government employees in government vehicles. And he mentioned, why would the dashboard be scratched? It made no sense. Normally, you would just put your feet on top of the dashboard. But again, this is pure speculation from our part. When we talked over this, I was included, in the conversation. It was just between the three of us. I, basically didn't say much. I was just overhearing the conversation back and forth. And I recall that I know Gladys herself said, if some of these employees are doing that, she told Mr. Lopez, that's not my problem. There's no way to confirm it unless there's cameras unless cameras were put in the vehicle. And she also mentioned that, even putting out, any message or any warning of any type of behavior was unacceptable. I remember she mentioned, people here don't. I remember she said people here don't pay attention anyway to most instructions. So why even try, especially since she was on her way out, since she was retiring, since she was older. She's older compared to me and Mr. Lopez. But the concerning point here is, again, the suggestion that hanky-panky was being practiced in government vehicles, federal government vehicles. Again, this is pure speculation. We don't fully know, or they didn't fully know. But just the thought of it, in view of all the other behaviors that I've already mentioned, is very probable, but at the same time, not necessarily provable. But it is a concern. It is a concern. In any case, even if that were not the case, maybe there was no hanky-panky, but still, I don't think that's proper behavior of employees, reclining the passenger seat all the way back and lifting their feet. That can also, again, if it's a female and the guy's driving, that can also be provocative, or vice versa. It could be provocative. Let's just at least conclude that as a huge negative here. Not only that, the fact that the dashboard was scratched, again, negligence, just like, many other things that have happened with these vehicles, that there's a lot of negligence in the use of the same. I personally believe they should put cameras like a lot of police cars do, just to control these behaviors, these misbehaviors from part of federal employees. Again, taxpayers fund these things. I believe U.S. citizens would be concerned that their tax money is being misused, especially when vehicles are not being taken care of. And I can say much more about vehicles and their misuse, because there were a lot of conversations on the matter. But I'm mentioning this because I think this was the most serious of all the conversations we've ever had at U.S. Probation of Puerto Rico when it came to, again, the toxic workplace that I'm investigating myself, independent investigation, journalism, for entertainment purposes only. Because again, in this case, from all the other cases, this is more speculation than anything else. All the other ones, all the other videos I mentioned before, I either heard it myself, saw it myself, or somebody reputable like HR themselves or managers themselves have told me. But again, that's a concern. There should not be any hanky-panky in government vehicles by government employees, if that is the case. Again, if that is the case, which I hope is not. But again, Mr. Lopez concluded that there's, that to him, that's what it seemed like. So, of course, I don't know what type of evidence that would be considered, if it's solid enough or not, but it's still a concern, especially in view of a lot of the other videos that I've mentioned, which are factual, that promiscuity is something practiced very highly. Because again, like I mentioned before, he with no sin cast the first stone. And, worse things have been witnessed and worse things have been concluded. But apparently, the tiny things are of more critical issue to human resources and the federal judges. So once again, if there's U.S. citizens out there listening, you should be concerned that government vehicles are probably being used inappropriately. At least we know there's negligence in the use of these, and your taxpayer and your taxes are being misused. Either way, if conclusions of what's being done with these vehicles or how they're being used, etc. So that should be a major concern to taxpayers. So once again, another of the many experiences and meetings and observations and realities and facts that contribute to me and in my investigation to conclude that U.S. District Court of Puerto Rico definitely is very toxic, and probation, and this is probably a very Western issue, but no doubt it is very evident, very evident in this place, no doubt in my mind. So, well, these videos is meant to be short, so I'll see you guys later.